First thing you notice is the atmosphere, the quality of the tables and the chairs. As I came through, they said, oh, we got to give you a tour of the place. You know, they showed me around. Whenever you have several details like that, it starts to add up and just creates a better experience.
This place is absolutely gorgeous. I think they did wonderful with the design and everything. It's just very comfortable.
As a server, I'm gonna handle all of your needs, food, snacks, coffee. If you bring your own alcohol, we will be here to serve you guys.
It's brand new, as you can see, and I like chargers on the table. That's new for me. Come play. It's gonna be a great time.
The building is absolutely gorgeous. It just has a great open area, you know, for people to just hang out, have a good time. The management is focused on just creating a positive experience for everyone.
We're gonna have an armed guard at the front, making sure no one brings.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are just a few minutes away from the restart of the Poker House Summer Jam 100K Flight 1E. We have a doozy of a feature table for you, featuring some local well-known names. And for those of you just now tuning in, you can see that I had, out of a total of 126 entries, 71 remain. Again, we are cutting down to the top 10%, meaning we will be cutting down to 13 players that will be bagging and tagging tomorrow with a Sunday restart at noon. So, as the new players get situated here to the feature table, get chip counts accurate, we will be getting started as we speak. I am in the booth with Craig Dobson again today, who took last evening off to do some family things, and so he's back in the booth with me. We have pizza here at Poker House, celebrating the 1-year anniversary. I think they just brought in some cake for everyone to have.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, we had pizza, we had cake. We had a presentation. We were able. It's about poker. It's about the community. It's about a whole bunch of things here. It's a busy day. It's Super Saturday here at Poker House of Dallas. Here on Flight 1E of our 100,000 plus. I gotta say 100,000 plus guaranteed summer anniversary tournament. We're in level 9, and
Blinds are 800 small, 1,600 for the big blind, and 1,600 for the big blind ante. We have some familiar faces on the feature table. Chris Mays in the 6th seat, a good friend of mine that I got to know during my stay in Vegas, Mr. Daniel Marks, who just a few weeks ago shipped the Choctaw WSOP main event for nearly $250K.
Oh snap! We should hit him up for a loan.
Yeah, good guy. Actually, when he got to Dallas, when he got to Vegas for his stay in Vegas to play WSOP, I actually picked him up from the airport, spent some time together, had dinner, got him checked into the airport, went around the town for a little bit, showed him Paris, showed him Bally's. Had a pretty decent showing there himself. Comes back a few weeks later and ships the tournament, WSOP Choctaw, for over nearly $250K. Daniel Marks in the 6th seat. So let's pick up action here. Cody Burleson, who was at our feature table yesterday, under the gun +1 with Ace of Hearts, King of Diamonds, opening the 4K.
6, 7, 8 call.
And Jack Van Nabel calling with pocket 9s in the, in the cutoff.
In the cutoff with pocket 9s.
Cutoff.
And you got Sue with Ace-Jack on the button. 9 call.
Just gonna call. Could have used that hand as a 3-bet,
1.
especially being in position. Small blind Neek folds. Ryan Ballard folds from the big blind. We're going 3 ways to the flop.
It's Ace-King versus 2 9s versus Ace-Jack. Here's the flop. Oh, and the flop comes 3 Jack, King. Sue just flopped a pair of jacks, but Cody's got top pair, top kicker. Action's on him. 5, bet 6,000. He's going to lead out. He's going to bet 6,000.
Just slightly over 3rd pot. Jack with pocket 9s is probably going to fold here, knowing that this board favors Cody's under the gun +1 range.
Absolutely. With
And-
two overcards and a flush draw and a straight draw.
And an action behind from Suju. Suju itself up in middle pair, brings Queen of Hearts on the turn, bringing in multiple draws, bringing in backdoor hearts, bringing in Broadway. Cody elects to check turn. Action to Suju. And rips it for the rest of his
Wow.
stack for 47K.
He is not playing, folks. He is firing all in. And he's going to put Cody to the test early and often. Right now, can Cody kind of figure out to be able to know he's got the best hand? Can you really put him on ace? Really, it's a hand like this.
And makes the
and
call.
Makes a good call. It's ace-king for Cody, ace-jack for Sue, up, and just for good measure, he gets a king on the river to make 3 kings. He's going to double up.
And it's a very good call for for a couple different reasons. He has the ace of hearts, so he blocks the nut flush draw, and also has an ace blocking Broadway. So came to the conclusion it's going to be very hard for Suju here, and maybe have 2 pair. Ran through his combinations, what he could have on the button, ripping on the button to put him in a tough spot. Very unlikely for him to have ace 10, 10-9. Takes down the pot, chips up.
Wow, look at that, Eddie. 126 in the flight. 71 left. That means we'll take 13. 13 is going to go to the final day. Here's your chip count for our feature table.
Well, just for the record, Craig, it's official. You won your bet.
Woo!
Based off my calculations, we are just over 185,000 in the prize pool. So, as of last night, through Flight D of last night, there was 114,000 in the prize pool, and with 121 players in this flight, I'm sorry, I lied. I did bad math, and I'm a CPA. You're definitely gonna hit it though. We're at 157, so. With one more flight, currently the price pool around 157,000, 158,000. So very, very good. Opens 8, elects to turn his ace 4 clubs into.
And he moves all in. Jack's going to make the call.
Not going to like what he sees. Patrick, more than 65% to win this hand.
And the flop comes 3 deuce, king. Oh, and he binks an 8 on the turn. Oh, we needed one less spot. And Patrick Lenahan, he's been eliminated. I actually happen to know Patrick. I bowl league with him. But wow, Jack's gonna take the 98 holes, and he ran down ace 4.
And just like that, we've lost 2 players already in the feature table.
Here's our chip counts.
Yes, that's small.
Have another familiar place that was playing in yesterday's live stream, Mr. Ryan Ballard. This time coming to the table with a chip lead, 88 big blinds, 142,000, all the way down to Suju, just under 20 bigs. Dashing goes to Danny. 10-8 under the gun folds.
Jack here looking in the +2 with ace 10. He's going to make the smooth call. Sue's going to fold an ace. He's got queen 10 in the hijack.
Gonna fold.
Deuce. He's going to get to see. He's going to get to see it for free.
I thought Jack opened. My apologies.
And the flop comes 4, king 7. No help to either player. The ace high is ahead.
Goes check, check. Oh, check on from Cody.
And Jack's going to lead out. That's 3,200. Cody realizes obviously he just trying to actually just hit the flop. He knew he was already in for the big, and to see if he can get lucky with this, he's going to lay it down. So, and Jack's going to take the pot.
think that was mine.
Post it. Hey.
No, dude. I was playing with it. I was playing some chips. Yeah.
Hey.
That's my fault.
Okay. 800 of that pot. He was playing with it. It was inside his
Probably looking to bring in another 2-blind ballot at the top, sitting at 88 big blinds on 142,000, all the way down to Suju Abraham with 19 big blinds, 32,000. Everybody in between have 3 players with 60 big blinds or more. Danny in the middle with about 50 himself.
After that, it's a dash for the cash.
35K range, give or take.
And a trophy that even Mark Cuban would be proud of.
I was just wondering, since you didn't come in last night to help me with the evening, were you thinking of all these analogies that you could compare?
You know what?
Trophy to?
You know what? Part of it I was working on that. I had a couple of family obligations. I had one of my beloved nephews, and I guess I can old enough to say horse.
Oh, thank you for your nephew serving our country.
Absolutely. He followed along the lines of my uncle as opposed to myself. My uncle, career 20-year Air Force man. He thought I was going to go in the same boat. I ended up going
to poker.
It seems like that way.
Total opposite.
College first, then poker.
Fair enough.
And he was coming out, and we had a nice little event for him. We had a dinner, we had a party, and then he comes to Uncle Craig and says, Uncle Craig, can you take me out like you would go out? And I said, really? Are you sure about this? I mean, we've had some late nights. I'm like, come on, I've been overseas. I've been stationed. Take me out like you would go out. I said, well, I can do that, but since we're in Fort Worth, I had to make a couple calls. So let's just say last night he had a good time.
Good for him.
He had a whole good time. I think every bartender wanted to buy him a shot once they found out he was in the Air Force. So
good for him.
As it should be, and I was happy for him. So.
Good deal. Back to the action. We're 4 ways to the flop. 8,000 in the middle.
4 players.
And the flop
different variety of hands.
4-9-6 rainbow. Chris Mays has a pair of 6s. Suze has a better 6. Daniel Marks has open-end straight draw. And Dean's got 2 cards. He man, I wouldn't even go good in a Scrabble game.
9. 2.
I foresee Daniel calling here.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to pull one off, knowing with the open-end straight draw.
Good 3-bet.
6 call.
Looking to spike an 8 or 4.
The board pair of 6s. Wow. Chris has made 3 6s.
Danny's going to check here. Going to go to Chris, and I think Chris is going to go ahead and double barrel. Daniel with the smartphone, knowing that with only 1 card left and 1 card left for the river, not too many cards help him out there.
And the funny part was that was the K6.
That's correct. That's right, because one of the other players had K6. Excuse me.
Oh, is that the light?
Yeah, that's for the lights.
You just been hanging out with me all day today? All day.
All right, folks, we're going to the next hand. Now, 67 players left. We're going to play this flight down to 13. They're going to advance to day 2, and that's a dash for the cash, folks. Action's going to be on Suju.
I'm moving over there. I just moved here, so I'm moving over next to him.
You and Luigi both, right? Y'all staying together?
Right now.
That's good.
We've got a nice little.
And Suju's got the walking sticks. He's got 2 7s. He's going to come in for a raise.
A little bit expensive. All right, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
I think he raised.
He did raise. He raised at 3,500.
Oh, raised at 3,500. Okay.
Yeah, and Chris May is in the small blind with ace 7.
Did you get the raise? The raise from seat 9?
I did not.
For 35. 35. 35, seat 9 raised 3,500. 1, 2, 3 folded. 6 folded. 5 called, 7 called, and 8 called. So I've got 9, 7, and 8. Got it.
And as we get the action tracker up to date,
Back on track.
And I didn't tell him that right.
going to be 3 ways to the flop. Ace high.
Oh, wow.
Suju flopping middle set.
He flopped. He hits the slot machine, folks. And
Chris
May
May
has
with
aces and
Top
sevens.
2. These chips are going in no matter what.
Wow. This is unfortunately one of those train wreck hands, folks, that you always see where
Chris quickly 3 bets to 95 after an open from Suju of 4K.
this is going to get bad, folks.
Jack Van Nabel is going to fold it. Suju is going to rip it in. Chris is going to snap call.
And we're going to get it all. We're going to get it all in, folks.
8.
I don't know how he smooth calls with a set of sevens.
Yeah, he's short. He's just going to go ahead and rip it.
He's all in, and snap
as
call.
I
We
anticipated,
got it all in, and Chris with aces and 7. Suju's got a
top
set of
2
sevens.
versus middle set.
Only an ace will be able to help Chris right now, or else Suju's going to double up. Jack on the turn. It's got to be an ace. He's got to get Greenstein.
3 outs.
Ooh, it's
misses.
a king. And Suju with his set of sevens is going to double up.
Pick up some much needed chips. Now over 65K. Chris still in good shape here with about 15 minutes left in this level. Down to about 22 big blinds. Still plenty of maneuverability with that stack size though. Doesn't need to make a move yet.
I agree with you there, honestly. But the thing was, you can agree with me, Eddie.
I mean, those chips there's no way those chips are
What
not
could
gonna
you
get in.
do? This literally was truly a bang play. Chris has aces, has top 2. Suju has middle set. It was all going to get in. It was just a question of when and how fast.
They make a ton of money.
K7 hitting the flop.
Wow, that dude, you probably sell that idea.
They probably already thought about that. Anything that I think about has already been thought about. I promise you that.
They gotta have a way to stick to this.
And already have lost 5 players in this level, down to 66 players. Again, playing down to 13.
$4,000.
I'm the first dude
Nick,
that's ever put food
under the gun, opens to 4K with ace-7 suited.
It gets folded around. We're going to get back over to Chris. He's going to lay down the the jack 3 fold. A hard 8, ladies and gentlemen. So he's going to make the call here. Here's the flop. Flop comes 2, 5, 10, 2 spades. Action on Suju.
Now this is a flop that favors Suju's big blind defending range. Goes check on the flop. King of diamonds. I'd like to see Neek barrel on this card.
Yeah, I think here he goes. Here comes the.
One bet, 6,000.
That's 6,000 in the 10K, just slightly under 60% pot.
Oh wow!
Suju calls with
call
3 over cards.
and he's still ahead until the river hits a 7.
And now it should go check now with a pair of 7s. Neek has showdown value.
Pair of 7s.
Wow.
Suju unlucky there, made a good call on the turn, not believing he had a king. He either has a king there or he doesn't. But I do like the lead on the turn by Neek, trying to represent the king. Definitely has kings in his range, opening from under the gun. Suju looking up, just unfortunate to run into a 7 where Neek pairs his a7. 12 minutes left at this level. Small blind 800, big blind 1,600 with a big blind ante of 1,600. Hand number 9, post close of registration.
Post close registration, yeah. We got Dean under the gun here with Queen 9 of clubs. He's going to fold.
So you can see what he folded when he comes back.
Ryan with 10. Ryan is going to make the race with 10-9 of hearts. It's going to get folded around to Jack. He's got ace-9 of spades.
7 call. Or 8 call. 9.
Suju with the double down hand, bet 25. 7-4. Neat with the king 8. He's going to lay this down. So we got Ryan with 10-9. Jack with ace-9. Here's the flop, and the flop comes deuce, 6, jack, no help to either player.
I was like one of the short stacks too, and then all of a sudden the final table.
3 check. 8 check.
Goes check on the flop.
And the 8 on the turn gives Ryan an open and straight draw.
3 bet, 7,000.
Gonna lead out. Jack doesn't have much of anything. You can see him folding here.
Yep, he lays it down.
Good aggression by Ryan, turning open ender, being aggressive on that turn. Once that 8 of clubs hits, gets Jack to fold, ace high.
Oh, good for you.
As we're going to take a brief moment, look over here at the chat for all of you viewers who said. Obviously, I think we have one of Chris's biggest fans, Glenda, watching the stream. We got Johnny T. Blinder said that's a Chris May's fan. What's top Texas poker player?
Yeah, your banner up there. Got your banner, bro.
John, thanks for your comment saying Poker House Dallas is the best poker room in the world. We really appreciate that. And all your comments here in the chat for everybody.
Absolutely. Here's our chip count.
Oh, wait. I got it. You got it.
Oh, and we'll make an official announcement about that on our Facebook page probably later this evening. For those of you who are inquiring, we'll definitely be announcing that throughout the live stream on Fly.
Bet, 11,000.
Oh, wow. But actually, back to action. We got big action here.
9 call.
Chris May has trip queen. Suju has a flop to straight.
I guess Suju just has it out for Chris.
Wow.
What an unfortunate.
So Chris some way needs to board the pair, or it's a king, and Chris Mays is eliminated. Chris Mays had top pair, turns of trips. Suju flopped a queen high straight.
An unfortunate turn of events for Chris Mays, losing with top 2 to set to Suju, and then loses with trip queens
to a flop straight. Wow.
Good game, Chris. I'm sure we'll see you firing.
Firing the last bullet. I am almost positive we'll see him fire the last bullet.
And for those of you again just tuning in, we are on a 10-minute delay. I have just been informed by our tournament director that the infamous TJ Cloutier will be joining the feature table here in a few minutes. So
for all you poker aficionados, that's right. 6-time WSOP bracelet winner, TJ Cloutier pretty much wrote the books on, honestly, he wrote the book on Omaha. He is the only, to my knowledge, he is one of the only players in WSOP history that has the Triple Crown of Omaha. He has a bracelet in all 3 disciplines of Omaha. He has, if you look at his record, he was one of the few players to have over $1 million in career earnings without ever winning the main event. And also one other little tidbit, he is one of the few players that has made more than 1 main event final table. And most infamous know he finished 3rd in 1998, the year that Scotty Wynn had said, make this call, it'll be all over, baby, against Kevin McBride.
you guys are in for a treat. We have some major tournament winners here that'll be on the featured table with TJ Cloutier, like Craig said, 6-time bracelet WSOP winner. And Mr. just recently crowned WSOP Choctaw main event champion, Daniel Marks, in the 6th seat. What's really funny is that I've always known Danny as a very quiet guy. He's not a very quiet guy once you get to know him.
Really?
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that in a bad way for sure. But definitely that Chris Pace goes out with 3 queens.
The zero, Chris. TJ was the first player ever to earn $1 million, and actually he was the first to earn $1 million without winning the main event. Which, surprisingly enough, he's made the main event final table 3 times and finished runner-up twice.
I think maybe Chris is saying to reach 10 million career earnings.
With the year 10,
12%. Now they bumped it up to 15%.
True, but even then when they were paying 12%.
Okay, I saw cards on their back, so I was like, I wanted to jump back to the action.
Action here, obviously we got Suju that makes the raise. Cody that's going to make the call.
Chris, man, that was a rough run.
That was rough, man. Just literally back-to-back hands like that.
We got an action flop here. 10K in the middle. Cody flopping, top check raising here. Check raising to 15,000, maybe a little more. Just gonna call with 2 spades out there. He does have the king of spades.
Yeah. Here's the turn. The
Board pairs.
Board pair 6s.
That card shouldn't concern Cody because Suju shouldn't have a lot of 6s in his opening range, even though he's at position. Check, check on the turn. Cody probably going to lead the river here. When an 8 hits 20K in the pot, let's see what sizing he uses.
Bet 13.
Bets 13,000 for value. Suju with the snap fold. Cody picking up some chips up to about 63,000 now.
And as advertised,
There he is himself.
Sitting in the 7th seat, none other than the man himself, TJ Cloutier, 6-time bracelet winner, 2-time runner-up in the main event. I mean, pretty much has the triple crown of Omaha. Has written numerous books on poker. I mean, the acclamations when it comes to him are staggering. I mean, as you know, obviously with TJ, aside from the fact that he's an excellent poker player. Eddie, did you know he was in college? He was the MVP of the '54 Rose Bowl.
Shut up.
3 o'clock, guys. First part.
I didn't know that.
He was the MVP of the
First hand at the table wakes up to ace queen under the gun.
Which is so ironic because it was in 2001. It was this ace queen against Chris Jesus Ferguson's ace 9 that took him out.
You know what? I actually remember that hand because
6 call.
And
4x and going heads up to the flop with Danny. Who defends king 10 hearts.
Here's the flop. It comes 8, deuce, 6, 2 clubs. Action on Daniel. He's going to fold
Both
TJ.
check to the turn.
Sorry about that.
Both check.
Check, check.
Turn card. It's a 9. That's going to give Daniel a straight draw.
And this board favors Daniel more than it does TJ, who opened from under the gun. So these are the types of cards on the board that favor. Oh
wow! And TJ comes in with the raise.
With the raise.
What did they say?
Showing these young guns how we still do it.
Something you gotta let sleeping dogs lie sometimes. I mean, I think TJ is literally one that when he said he's seen every move in the book. He's seen every move in the book and then wrote the book on every move in the book.
And I don't blame Daniel's lead on the turn here. All those cards on the board right there favor his big blind defending range, and it does TJ's under the gun opening range. So good move by both of them. Chris in the chat cheering on his guy TJ. Thanks again for all of you tuning in here to the Poker House Dallas live stream.
And yeah, as we see, Chris May, he said obviously he's providing all of the reback drop when it comes to TJ Cloutier. Yes, he was heads up with Chris Jesus Ferguson in 2001. He was also heads up with Bill Smith in 1985. Of course, back then, I believe the field was probably somewhere between 2 and 300, maybe 1 and 200, as opposed to this year was 8,661. But we got Daniel Marks. That's flop, a pair of 5s. TJ has a flush draw.
Back-to-back hands with Daniel
and TJ. Here's the turn.
Board pairs. I see it check going here.
TJ's got a lot of outs to get there.
To the river. Which is a mystery card.
We don't know. It's a 7, TJ.
The river is the 7.
River's the 7.
He was still ahead anyway.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
No, he wasn't. I'll take that back. No,
River's the 7 to make
Danny had a pair of 5s.
Well, I guess it is no joke when we come to this on regards on. Trust me, I mean the TJ is part of the old guard when it comes to poker, when that really just that
Play by feel.
played by Phil. I mean, is as analytical as it is now that people have, that have strategy and pre-flop charts and even before before the books, when realistically the only real book in poker that existed around when as TJ was making the circuits was Super Systems.
Yep, Doyle Brunson's book.
I mean, if anything, when it comes to, don't let it fool you, folks. Super System is literally the Bible of poker. If you have no clue on how to play cards and would like to be able to come to a level where you could play a tournament like this, Super Systems, I've read it. I've read the second version of it, and believe me, it at least gives you those rough nuggets that otherwise, going to recreational games and bar games and bar leagues, they don't give you those things. Here we are as the chip counts. Ryan is in first. TJ Cloutier in second. We've seen that name on leaderboards for the last 40 years.
Yeah. And I actually had the pleasure of first meeting TJ back in February when Poker House had their 250,000 free roll. Had him to my left. Actually had Law to my right too. So that was a really.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was actually interesting. I was in a really tough spot, and I even asked because that was when you guys here at Poker House did your first live stream, and I'm looking at the people at the table, and I asked the team, I was like, did you guys put this table together specifically to make it the feature table? And they were like, yes. I'm like, take me off of it, please. And they didn't. So back to action here. Ryan Ballard, middle position, opening King Queen off.
Jack in the small blind with Ace 6.
Oh, and
Sue with Ace
waking
Queen.
up cards ever since he's been on this featured table. Should be 3-betting with this hand. Let's see if he does or if he just elects to call and defend his big blind.
Non-call.
Not only calls.
Heads up.
That's a hand I'm typically 3-betting with there, even to middle position raise.
That's right there for this.
Non-check.
I didn't know that's what they were.
3 bet.
I've been on
12,000.
Never had the same one.
We got a flop of 3-9-5. No. Ryan's going to lead out for 12,000.
Suju folds. I would have liked to seen him 3-bet that hand out of the big blind. He's blocking a lot of good hands. He's blocking ace, king, blocking king, queen, blocking pocket aces, pocket queens. But again, just elects defend the big blind with ace, queen suited. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your chip counts. Ryan again at the top with 79 big blinds. And WSOP Choctaw main event champion with the short stack. I guess not really a short stack. Still 28 big blinds. Still plenty of chips to play with. And if I remember correctly, on day 3 of Choctaw, I think there was 13 players left going into the last day. And I believe he was started that day with 12th in chips. Spins it all the way up to a circuit ring at nearly 250K. So if someone can nurse a short stack and spin it back up, Danny Marks is one of those players.
We got D. He's going to lay it down, and it's not exactly the TJ Cloutier hand, but it is Jack 9.
6, 7, 8.
I think we spoke about this a couple days earlier in a couple of the flights that as like Doyle Brunson, his hand is the 10 deuce. TJ Cloutier hand is the Jack 9 of clubs.
Okay. Did not know that. Do you have a hand? What's your hand?
7-8 offsuit.
A 7-8 offsuit?
Specifically with the 7 of clubs and the 8 of spades.
My hand, it's actually called the Eddie Bat. It's called Jack 6 suited. So there, again, there's a group of us. We joke about this hand. I think Jim yesterday, the day before, he had texted some people in our group thread that said, hey, I just finally won with Jack 6 suited. Let us know the hand. Got some LOLs in our thread.
Oh, wow.
Blind versus blind here.
We got Suju with Queen 10, Neek's with the King Queen, and Suju's going to lay it down. Neek's going to win the pot. We do, obviously, thank you to all the viewers watching. Thank you, Chris Mays. We do appreciate everything that you've done for Poker House and for poker in general. He's one of the finest ambassadors I know of. Great guy, action player. He gives action. He supports poker in every way, shape, or form.
And one of the ambassadors here at Poker House Dallas.
Absolutely. I will probably bug him on stuff when I need to go to Vegas in a couple months.
And we're now into level 10, just about 5, 6, 7 minutes into level 10, where the blinds, small blind 1K, big blind 2K with a big blind ante of 2K. Let's pick up action.
3, 5, 6.
It's going to get folded over to TJ Cloutier in the hijack seat. He's going to fold. Jack with Queen 3. He's going to fold. Suju with King 10 on the button.
Should make a move with this hand. Late position over the folds him.
5,500.
Good raise. I like that size, 5,500. Oh, Neeks with King Queen. And folds?
What?
Interesting. A lot of times, so late position raise like that, especially with a game like King Queen. King Queen suited, King Queen off in the small blind to a cutoff button open. You could use that kind of type of hand and you have it function as a 3-bet knowing that you block ace, king, ace, queen.
Actually, I think there is an error. I think Neek did call.
Oh, just kidding.
He did call with King Queen. The flops comes down ace, 7, 8. Suju, Neek check. Suju bets 4,000. Back to Neek. I think he's going to lay this down still. I mean, gentlemen, half the field of this flight has been eliminated. We got 63 players left. 13 of these players will advance on to the final day, the dash for the cash. Someone is going to win over $25,000 and a trophy that not even the Brazilian World Cup team would be proud of.
I'm okay with that analogy. That works. So I think, yes, how many have we bagged so far? 13 last night, 6 the first flight. What do we do in flight B?
5 and 7.
I think we at least have 35 going.
5, 7. 5, 7. No, wait a minute. We had 5.
13 last night.
13 last night. 9 in the morning.
That's right, because it was 9 because there wasn't going to be a final feature table.
Yeah, it's like 9, 13, 9.
8.
And I'm a CPA. This is really struggle's real right now, being in the booth for so long.
Yes, folks, we have logged a lot of hours in the booth.
Should probably be at least 50-55 going into day 2.
Absolutely, folks. That means from all of our buy-ins, it's going to be a dash for those 50 or 60 players going for the big bucks on Championship Sunday.
Jack opening Jack deuce suited in the hijack. Neek
no
picking
pun
up ace
intended.
king with ace king.
That's a lot of jacks.
Three betting to good size, not quite 3x, just under 3x. Doesn't need to 3-bet big in position. Ryan Ballard with ace 8 offsuit, wisely folding. Jack Venable will be folding his jack. Neek taking down the pot with the 3-bet with his ace king on the button. And Neek sporting the Poker House Dallas cap under his hoodie and sunglasses.
Woohoo!
And for those of you I know the camera angle is stuck. Again, one of these little, just noticed it a few minutes ago, so it's going to be another few minutes before the camera angles changed around the table. Again, sorry for that. Hopefully we can get that ironed out. Probably not going to get it ironed out before the end of tomorrow, but over the next few weeks, hopefully.
But I know we will. Thank you for that, Eddie.
Thank you. You know, I think I only did one sound effect last night. I don't even remember. It was a heartbeat one, I think, when somebody had a tough decision.
I do remember that. So
I think that was the only reason I used it because I knew you were in the chat, just so you can be proud of me.
I do appreciate that. That's why we're gonna, because I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I get 2 applauses. That's great.
There you go.
So Cody Burleson opening ace jack off under the gun, folding all the way down to the button. Dean Nelson calling with King 10 suited.
And we got Ryan in the small blind with pocket nines.
Just calling. And I believe we have a new player, seat 4. Cat Smith, yep. Cat Smith new to the table.
With the 9-7.
And she's getting a good price to call.
Yeah, obviously.
Got some middling one gappers.
And a pocket pair and a couple overcards. Here's the flop.
4 ways to the flop.
3 check.
And the flop is 10-6-5. Dean has made flop the best hand with a pair of 10s.
Cat's got a gutter to a straight.
Cody with overcards and
10,000.
And Dean's going to raise with that top pair with a good kicker.
Only min clicks it here. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'd like to see a bigger sizing. Pocket 9's probably knows it's not. Oh, I don't know. Ryan's thinking. Probably going to fold to an open and a raise.
4.
Cody going to probably fold here as well.
5. Button's right.
Here we go, folks. 62 players left at 16 minutes to go in this level.
90, 91, and 92, 3 years in a row. And so I always remember the fight, getting that big sign out there in Los Angeles.
As you can hear TJ Cloutier in the background, he's mentioning the fact about that that was one of his most notable tournament wins, is that in 1990, 91, and 92, when they had the bike had their $10,000 main event, when the Bicycle Club had their $10,000 main event, TJ Cloutier won that event, and if you can believe that, 3 years in a row.
Amazing. And here we go. Danny Undergun opening ace-7 suited.
Suju with the Gretzky hand, 2 9s, 99.
I think that's like the 5th or 6th time we've seen pocket 9s on this featured table.
Absolutely, and the funny part is that theoretically you're going to get a pocket pair once every 17 deals,
right.
But for the fact we've seen 9s 3 separate times. We got Ryan on the button with Queen Jack. I think he looks like he's cutting on a raise.
3 raise, 12,500.
He's going to make it 12-5 to go on the button.
I actually like that move. I'm not a big fan of playing Queen Jack off to a raise on the flat air. If you're going to play that hand, it probably functions better as a 3-bet in late position. Probably going to see Danny fold here, simply for the fact that Suju flatted behind him when he opened under the gun.
Daniel thinking about it.
Danny's trying to get a read off Ryan.
I think more or less. I think did he realize he knows that Ryan made a button raise, and you've seen Suju's picked up hands pretty consistently when after the back-to-back hands when he took out the big raise.
If Suju hadn't flatted behind him, I could have seen him calling that 3-bet and playing Ryan post-flop. If I'm Suju here, I'm still calling. You got a pocket pair.
Yeah, I agree.
See what happens on the flop.
Even though you're going to be out of position, you can't really.
I mean, if that was 6s, 5s, you're folding, but 9s is still strong enough to call.
Until the flop when it comes 3, Queen, 6.
Going to continue here, of course, off your hitting top pair.
Ryan has flopped a pair of queens, and he's going to lead out. I think this is an instant fold for Suju.
No. A lot of people tend to fold when a 1 overcard hits. I like him peeling at least 1 street, knowing that he has second best pair. Obviously, Ryan could have ace queen there.
That's a raise. Uh-oh, folks.
Goes with a check raise.
Ryan's moved all in.
Yeah. Now he's definitely has to fold.
Yeah, this is bad.
Hi-ya.
Oh, he's even saying this, so. Oh, he makes the call! Ryan turns over his queens. Suju turns over nines. This is a 169,000 chip pot. And
pot.
turns 3 queens. Still needs a 9. It's a jack. Ryan fills up with a full house. And just like that, Suju is eliminated.
That's an interesting turn of events. But Suju had been doing so well there. I would have been okay with him calling the continuation bet there from Ryan on the button, even though there's a queen that hits the board. Because again, a lot of poker players, when they see an overcard to a pocket pair, just one overcard, they fold. It's not always the correct decision. Obviously, in this in this particular hand, Ryan had a queen, but not a big fan of the check raise there on the flop. He could have just peeled and seen a queen.
I agree.
And then definitely folded. Didn't need to risk his whole stack there. Had a healthy stack. And now Ryan up to 85 big blinds. I think Danny took mental note of that hand, knowing that he 3-bet in late position with Broadway cards. Dean Nelson with ace king in the hijack. TJ opens under the gun with mystery cards, and Dean just electing just a call.
Just a call.
King queen.
TJ's got king queen. Dean's got ace king. The flop comes down 7-4-7. Now, and you know TJ's gonna fire. It's just in his nature.
Bet 20,000.
Over bets the pot 1.1, knowing that if either Dean has a pocket pair, he does it and gets him to fold.
Look at that.
The old school aggression from Mr. TJ Cloutier, knowing that if he gets called, Dean has an overpair.
This is why this man, ladies and gentlemen, is a poker Hall of Famer. He's got the chops. He's literally, it's no joke when he says he's seen every move, and he's written the books about all the moves he's seen in the books. You can't go, and I suggest anything. It's one of those things where if you can appreciate, he always believes in power poker, especially.
You know what was funny? The first time I played him, I texted him from like, "Hey guys, I have TJ Cloutier to my left." He's like, "You should be fine. He's a tight player." Based on what I've seen on the stream so far, I would have to disagree with that assessment.
Tight player. Calling TJ Cloutier a tight player.
I didn't know. It's the first time playing with him.
It's like saying AT&T Stadium is just a place where you can sit and watch football.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And as we move along, oh, look at this. Daniel Marks has 2 jacks, and TJ has 2 8s.
Again, this is a third hand where we had Danny versus TJ.
Here's the flop. It comes 6-4 ace. That's gonna definitely put the brakes on this hand on both sides.
Check.
Here comes the turn. It's a deuce. No help. I think honestly TJ's. Oh, they both check through. Here's the river. It's a 7. Danny's gonna win this.
I think he may try to bet for value. TJ's gonna fold.
Yeah.
I think TJ may call here based off a check on the flop and turn.
I agree with you there. I think
because the only hand that really beats him, I mean, the overcard.
Oh, but he's gonna lay it down.
TJ making some legendary moves.
I mean, you can't not. The funny thing is like you're sitting there going, this is a man with literally over 40 years in this game, folks. I'm like, trust me, I am
60
barely.
years. He's 80 something, isn't he?
Oh, he's 80?
I looked him up on Wikipedia. Assuming it's correct, he's 82.
I like TJ's 82. That means he's got. If it's 80, if he's in his 80s,
he's 82.
He's got somewhere near maybe 50, 55 years, maybe 60.
He looks like one of those guys that was gunslinging back when he was 15 years old. So
it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he's thinking about it. He was the MVP of the '54 Rose Bowl. He played football in the Canadian Football League.
I did not know that.
He is one of the, obviously, he's always been interesting. He's always been interesting when he sits and plays. Oh, one of my most memorable moments, and I know TJ, he might blush about it. At one final table at the O2 series, and there was this very attractive woman that came to the table to give him a hug and a kiss, and made him blush, and then he turned and he says, "Well, look at my wife."
That's pretty funny.
I know, right?
Heads up.
Chris, it seems like you're pretty good friends with TJ. Do you think he'd be opposed to coming into the booth just for, just for good measure, just so the viewers in the chat can hear a legendary poker player on the airwaves? I don't want to just ask him. I'm not, he knows me by first name. I know him by first name. That's about it.
Raise 8,500.
Action on this hand. Going to the flop of 2 4s and a king.
Jack with queen 9. Cody with the ace high. That's going to be ahead.
Jack actually check raised that flop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
58 players, ladies and gentlemen. Here's our chip count. Ryan Ballard leading the way with 239,000. Meek and TJ coming close first and second and third.
I'm just going to leave this one in here.
Can I have that? What's that? Can I have that? I'll frame it and put it in my room.
Anyone else? Can I buy any black chips?
Guys, you
Anybody?
don't need blacks anymore. Ryan's going to buy them up. Keep your uneven stacks. Those are still in play, but we don't need a whole bunch. I'm going to buy them off of you. 500 to speed up the game.
Sir, 5.
Two? 2,000?
We're going to take a brief moment, folks. Obviously, we're going to just do a small we're going to do a small chip up here as we are here sitting with the blinds at 1,000, 2,000, 2,000. Action's going to be on Dean under the gun with Queen 5. He's going to fold. Ryan's got the Eddie hand, Jack 6.
I stepped out of the booth. Oh, you can't.
He really wanted to play that.
I'm telling you right now, Jack 6 is going to hit the flop.
Oh, here we go.
You're going to regret it.
All right, here we go. All right, so you say yes. I say I think it's going to complete airball it. If we see a flop.
Let's see. Let's see.
All right, okay. All right, we'll bet $1.
We'll bet $1. I'm down with that.
We'll bet $1.
Cat Smith. Waking up to pocket 4s, opening.
And there's my favorite hand.
Okay. My hand versus your hand, even though imaginary hand. We'll see who wins the run out. If there's a run out.
I know, right? Here we go. But we're gonna see it. We've got 4 players to this flop,
Cody's
and the
mystery
flop
card.
comes.
I owe you $1.
Ace 8, dude. Woohoo!
His 8 wins. So I now owe Craig Saltgrass and $1.
A saltgrass and $1. It's gonna get checked around. And Cody, we do not know what Cody has.
5 check.
Everybody checks.
And a queen on the turn. Okay, that gives me a straight draw.
Based off the cold cards, Jack's in the lead with 8s. Again, not knowing what Cody has in the hijack.
8 bet, 7,000.
Cat gonna lay pocket 4s down.
1.
Oh, Dick gonna King Jack.
4 call. 5.
She elects to call with pocket 4s. Or heads up to the river.
Heads up.
Jack gonna probably check with a low pair. I should have bet on a full board.
Ah,
I should have bet on a
the
full
full
board.
board. I would have
got you on the river.
You would have got me on the river with a Jack 6. Actually, so would Ryan. He would have gotten everybody on the river with a Jack 6.
Yeah, man. That's how you know how degenerate Craig and I are. We're not playing, so we're getting our poker fix by gambling on people's hands and the board running out. Jack picking up 23,000 in this pot with a pair of 8s. Cat losing with pocket 4s. Just a few minutes left in level 10 where the blinds are 1,000, 2,000 with a 2,000 big blind ante.
56 people are left. We're going to play down to 13. Ryan's still leading this feature table. Nick and TJ in a close second. Cody's still holding on with 15 bigs.
Yeah, Ryan with that big hand earlier against Suju, where Suju had pocket 9s and
Ryan with the
flop top pair with queen jack off.
I just don't know how you could just with the fact that the matter is that when the bet and the raise and the 3-bet shove.
Right.
I just don't know how you can't put him on a queen or even worst case pocket 10s.
One raise, 6,000.
Or a bigger pair than 9s. Anyway, as we move on here, we got action's going to be on Dean in the big line.
2 raise, 15.
He's going to make it 15,000, and it's going to be a raise and take it.
Blind versus blind spot. 56 players left. Next, the blind level for level 11 that will be coming up will be 1,500 for the small blind, 3K for the big blind, and 3K for the big blind ante. Cody Burleson here with the short stack 15 big blinds, just over 30K, all the way up to Ryan Ballard. Having 4 players in the 50 big blind range with Neat, TJ, Dean, and Jack, and Kat and Danny in the 30 big blind range. Cat waking up to another pocket pair, this time under the gun with pocket 6s.
4 call, 5,
Just gonna limp.
7.
Folds all the way around to Jack in the cutoff, who also folds. Neek on the button with 10-9 off. Limps also. Dean with king 5 in the small blind. Calls. Ryan with ace deuce in the big blind, just checking his option 4 ways to the flop. With a flop of 4 of clubs, king of jack, jack of hearts. Dean taking aggression with top pair and a low kicker, takes down the pot.
What? I'll put that back. Was it the 4? It was the king of spades, man.
Pretty sure you nailed it.
Looks like they may be trading out some cards and or
I think it is a deck change.
That was the deck. That was the deck.
And we have officially moved into level 11. Level 11. A little bit of a tongue twister there.
It's not like when you got
I'd rather have that guy, bro. It's so much
in the
easier.
factory where they had 5 8s in there.
Here's our chip count. We got Ryan still leading. Dean and TJ in a close second.
We were playing, these are 10s, and we were playing, and we were playing in the game, and it took about an hour and a half before we were able to notice that there was 2 8 of diamonds in there, and 5 8s.
Obviously, we want to give much thanks to our live stream dealers. I know mostly it's been a rotation, but it's been the 3 heavy hitters, and I will definitely give some applause to Ruben, Jeremy, and definitely Terrell. Man, those guys have put in some hours on these tables. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, these cards are not easy to deal. They're not easy to shuffle because of the fact of the matter that they are RFID cards that the table can read and give to our action tracker that we can provide for you. So by all means, we got to give some applause to our live stream dealers. They have majorly put in some work in regards to it. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And here we go back with action after a deck change.
All right, I got 5, 6, 7, 8 call.
Jack with 5-6 suited.
3 fold.
Just limping in for 2K.
And 4 check.
Folding around, getting the action tracker up to date.
Diamonds, first break.
Jack. Hold on, I think there was an exposed card.
Uh-oh.
Where Jack of Diamonds was exposed.
If it was, I guess.
4 bet 7,000.
I don't know if it was a Jack of Diamonds because that's what Dean has.
1 fold.
I heard Jeremy say Jack of Diamonds.
Okay, maybe not.
Heads up.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
We have that burn card on the flop, so just a second, I'll go check. Pull out that 9 of diamonds. All right. Cat bet.
Cat bet 7,000.
Folds around to the 2 seat.
2 seat calls.
For those of you listening to the overhead mics, there we go. Okay, I think we're square now. Not sure what's going on, but there's 27K in the pot.
And that 9 is now possibly created a train wreck.
Yeah.
That has queens and has top 2 pair. Dean has a queen high straight.
I think the chips are getting in.
4 bet 22,000.
And Dean's going to probably rip it here on the button. Cat's going to snap call.
2 fold.
That can't be right. Because he's nowhere. He's there. He's never folding the nuts right there. I thought I heard Jeremy announce that the Jack of Diamonds was exposed, and for some reason it just was still showing up on Dean's whole card. Fact of the matter is, Cat Smith won that hand with top 2.
Yep. Wait a minute. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it had to have been the Jack of Diamonds had to have been exposed because
There's no way he was folding. There's no way he's folding
queen
straight.
high straight there. No.
Definitely has the nuts right there.
Not a chance.
Here we begin with our chip counts. Ryan, the only player over 100 big blinds.
Six raise 6,000. 7 fold. 8 fold.
Chris, what did Joyce say? What did Joyce say?
1 fold.
LOL with big letters. Did you tell her how to get on?
Yeah. I sent her the link.
New hand here. Daniel Marks with King 10 suited, opening under the gun to 6K. I think again we're having some either issues with chip counts or cards.
Kind of the small blind with King 9 of clubs. And
may elect to call here.
it's,
I'm trying to get the blinds right. Blinds right. All right. I'm sorry. Action's up 4. Call.
And she calls.
That's a call. Cody with the big blind. That's got San Francisco 49er.
They got the folder. So an under the gun open, a small bound call. 9-4 is definitely not going to play well post flop. Going to a flop here of
5, 4, 6, 2 hearts. Daniel has the best hand and a flush draw.
4 check.
Now, with that being said, this is a board that definitely does not favor Daniel's under the gun opening range. Alexa continuation, but obviously flopping the second nut flush draw on a 3-liner to a straight.
4 fold.
Cat wisely folds here.
Absolutely so. I mean, well, obviously, that's one of those things. I think I think a lot of people. I can understand pulling off one.
Right.
But the thing is, it's like in some situations, if there's not a feasible way that
you can make a made hand,
then you honestly just let it go.
Yeah. And Kat, knowing that she doesn't even is not going to really turn any backdoor equity there with just king nine of clubs on 2 hearts and a spade, low cards, wisely letting it go. We're less than an hour away from our 20-minute break where we'll be coloring up, I believe, the 100s. Or have they colored off the 100 yet?
Yeah, we remember they did color up the 100s. Now it's just
going to be the 20-minute break?
It's just the 20-minute break, yeah. Okay. Here we go, folks. We got TJ under the gun with 76 trombones. He's going to fold. Jack with Jack 3. He's going to fold.
I've noticed at least, Ryan Ballard waking up with pocket queens in the cutoff. Obviously going to be opening.
He's got the double skirts, the Pointer Sisters.
Makes it 6,500, 3.5x.
Kat's got ace-5 on the button.
Should be fold.
I think he's going to fold. Cody's got ace-9.
Fold around. Queens takes it down.
Daniel's going to fold with 8-deuce.
I think I've noticed, I mean, it doesn't really matter for those in the live stream, that every time we get a camera freeze, it's generally been because there's an issue with the action tracker and him trying to get things caught up or whatnot. So having 5 players at this feature table in the 50 big blind range, Kat and Danny in the 30 big blind range, Cody Burleson in the danger zone with 12 big blinds, and again our chip leader Ryan Ballard with almost nearly 120 big blinds after winning that big hand against Suju. Jack Venable getting Jack 9 suited under the gun. See if he elects to open.
Speaking of TJ's hand, that's Jack 9 of spades. You got TJ's hand with TJ on your right.
And just calls with
1 fold, 2 fold, 3 fold, 4 fold, 5 fold, 6 call, 7 check. Three players. 6 check, 7 check, 8 check. 6 check. 7 bet, 15,000.
Attention all viewers.
8.
We're currently on break. Please go to the break room real quick. I just want to see what we got for viewers. All viewers that are on break.
All right, it's going to go actions here, and TJ's going to take this hand down with a pair of 7s.
Fold. 1 raise, 6,000. 2 fold.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just doing some updating in regards on this. All right, action's going to be on Ryan. He's got Dolly Parton, 9 to 5.
3 fold.
He's going to fold Cat with a double down hand, 8-3 in the hijack, bet 20.
4 fold.
Folds.
5 fold.
Cody's going to fold. And Daniel folds the TJ Cloutier hand. Jack 9 of clubs.
8 call.
It's
up.
Jack 3 versus Jack 10.
Check. 1 bet.
Action's going to be on. He's going to bet 5. Jack with a Jack high and
8 call.
He's going to call. 8 on the turn. Wow. That gives Jack a flush draw.
very interesting turn card.
Jack's got a flush draw. He's got an open straight draw.
17,500.
It's a big bet. I don't think Jack can call here out of position just to chase a flush draw. So it should be a fold. He elects to make the call.
Wow. And to the river.
A little sticky there.
It's a king, so the Jack 10 is going to win this pot.
Let's see if Jack turns his Jack high into a bluff, and he chooses to betting 25K into 60K. I like the move, knowing that he's not going to win at showdown.
I mean,
And Nick can't call here because all he has is Jack high himself.
I agree. I mean, and considering the board texture, there's 2 spades, there's 2 hearts, there's 3 overcards. Straights don't get there, but you gotta put him at least on one of these 2 overcards.
Yeah. I mean, you can put him on a 5 or an 8.
Or at this point, even I'd say even 9s. You couldn't call this board with 9s.
Good job by Jack, knowing that he missed the backdoor flush draw, turning his Jack high into a bluff on the river, getting Nick to fold the best hand with him himself having just Jack high with the 10 kicker.
But he took the lead in the pot, and that's usually what it takes sometimes, is to take the lead in the pot, gives yourself a chance to win it. We're here at level 11, folks. We got blinds are going to be at 1,500, 3,000, 3,000. Big blind Annie. We got about 50. We got 52 players left to go in this flight. 13 of them are going to advance on to day 2. Someone is going to win the biggest bite of this 100,000+ guarantee, at least over $25,000.
1 fold, 2 fold, 3 fold, 4 fold.
And a trophy that's going to make an excellent paperweight.
Definitely going to make an excellent paperweight. It's a pretty heavy, nice trophy.
Yes, and you could trust me. I think if you could balance the $25,000 on that paperweight, on that trophy.
And again, I know Craig and I have been commentating specifically on the tournament. We have plenty of cash games going on. We have a handful of 1, 2, no limit games going on, 2 $5 bomb pot tables going on. Actually, I have 2 $2.5 tables going on. Game that we've been spreading recently. Could be because of the tournament or because we're just growing. And then a 1, 2, 5 Congress table. So 9 tables total on this Saturday afternoon here at 3:45 here at Poker House Dallas. If you're not a tournament player, don't need to be a tournament player. Come play some cash.
Come on out of the heat. I know it. Come on out of the heat. I know it's still 95 degrees outside. I know for some of those that are watching the stream that may be parents, in some areas of the Metroplex, school has started. Now they're starting to get back in. They have to get back into their rhythm. Also, but in the same sense, the kids have been in the house or not at camp or anything else. So it's everyone's got to get back into the rhythm. I know it's low, but come on now. Drop the kids off at the pool. Go to the ATM. Or come on here. We got ATMs here. Come in, sit down, have some fun, have some laughs, say hi to us.
For sure, come by in the booth, Greg. Or if you want to be a fan favorite of us in the booth, could order us Taco Bell. Well, maybe not Taco Bell back-to-back days, but maybe something else. Send us something in the booth here.
Chipotle. Tell you what. Actually, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. To all those that are watching, or those that may be interested in watching, we'll make a trade. You bring us Chipotle, we'll give you a T-shirt.
I'm okay with that.
We'll give you a Poker House T-shirt for anybody that brings us, that actually comes in the chat and brings us Chipotle. It's crazy. It's a crazy idea, but we're going to try.
It's a little bit of quid pro quo, and I'm okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that every once in a while.
But we're gonna have fun with this, folks. Although we did do one thing that I thought was very, very honorable today.
Let the viewers know.
One of Poker House's most, and not just Poker House's, but Dallas's well-known gentleman that's been involved in poker. And if anybody knows, Robert Bugsy Slagle.
Was in the booth with us for about half an hour last night.
Yes, he was. Oh, I didn't realize he was in the booth. I got to watch that now.
Yeah, he was in there the last 30 minutes. Basically, I think this level, actually, right before the 20-minute break.
Well, on Sundays for the better part of the spring season, we had Bugsy's charity congressional tournament. What that means is Congress is a version of, well, actually, it is considered 5-card high-low Omaha. which Bugsy can consider himself a specialist at. I do know he won a big event, a big O event in Las Vegas with, and we decided to help Bugsy in regards of the cause, and we had a series of Sunday charity Congress tournaments that were to raise money that was going to be create a donation for the American Cancer Society, the American Cancer Society within Dallas. And today we were able, with a couple representatives that were here with the American Cancer Society of Dallas, able to present a plaque and also present a donation check that would go to the American Cancer Society of Dallas, which I know was a charity most near and dear to their heart in regards on the fact that Bugsy lost a dear friend of his. So we're very thankful for that, and we're very thankful for Bugsy wanting to be able to get Poker House as a strong mindset within the community. But as we get into this, look at this.
Back to the action.
TJ with top set, or as the late, great Mike Sexton said, he's got 30 miles to Saginaw.
And no one's calling.
And no one is calling at all. But Ryan sitting there with ace-5 and a absolute...
Tried the continuation, but I think he was the original opener, and then TJ just called.
And I'm sorry, but Ryan can't possibly think that a man
in his 80s
an 82-year-old man
is re-raising here as a bluff. It's never a bluff.
This is not even, this couldn't be any bluff. Honestly, it's if he had U.S. Steel in his back pocket.
And to be honest, with TJ just cold calling the under the gun open here, he has all the 2 pairs, he has all the sets. Obviously, he does have top set here, but he's definitely representing 2 pairs. I mean, he shouldn't have too many 2-pair combinations. Shouldn't be having 10-6, 10-7. Could have a suited 6-7 here, but definitely has pocket 10s, pocket 6s, pocket 7s in his range. I don't know how Ryan can make this call.
Can you, or if anything, if it's possible just to say that you took out a Poker Hall of Famer, a 6-time bracelet winner, a man that literally wrote the book on how to play Omaha, a guy that's made the final table, the main event 3 times, a guy that has literally has over 50+ years in this game. I think it's just more or less, if he makes this call, this is purely for ego.
Yeah, if you're gonna make a call like this, have something. He has nothing right now.
This is I absolutely
backdoor nut flush straight. Needs to go runner for straight. And shows the tens
and Ryan
shows the young gun.
It's like, hey, I still run this. I'm still TJ Cloutier. I know how to play cards, and you got to understand, I've been doing this long, but since your own parents.
And to be honest, even if you know Ryan has an overpair there, like you have to consider folding, because that's a board that really hits a late position fighting range.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, nothing against Ryan. I know, but come on now. It's like rarely, if someone is making that move that fast, that time, he's trying. That is literally, he is putting up those chicks as a brick wall. He's like, nope. If you're actually going to try to run me down,
Got some celebrations in the background. I was informed that they were doing the Eddie flips.
Oh, really? They were doing Eddie flips?
That was an Eddie flip right there.
That tells you something, folks. That's one of the other things, aside from the tournament, aside from the cash games, we're going to have Eddie flips going on for the rest of the day.
Probably to the end, probably close to the end of registration.
Until the end of the last registration. So you got a chance to satellite in this tournament for $50 even still.
Did you know that Dory last night, she bagged and tagged? She had played, I think she had fired 2 or 3 bullets at that. Actually got her seat through a flip yesterday.
So Dory Cole, you said she's played in 3 flights.
I think she had fired 3 bullets, actually paid entry bullets. Thought about firing a fourth one, elected to do an Eddie flip, gets her ticket,
and bags.
And then bags.
Well, I'll be dang.
Yeah. So it can be done, ladies and gentlemen.
So there you go, folks. Now, it's more or less, think about it. $420, didn't quite go the way you want. Fires fires 50 bucks, wins the seat, and ends up bagging to go to day 2.
9 fold. 1, raise 7,000. 2 fold. 3 call. 4 fold. Heads up.
Less than 10 minutes left in this level.
We need 4 more players for a flip. I'm going to hand it off to Brian.
Currently blinds 1,500, 3K, 3K with a 3K big blind ante. Next level. Hey, Shane in the chat saying, guess I should try to flip in a few minutes when you get there.
Yeah, definitely.
Fire away. You know, since it was my idea, I should take like a 10% commission, but I decided not to. It's so fun though. I'm so glad those players that are coming here wanting to flip. But guys, I mean, for $50, you can win a $420 seat. Why wouldn't you at least take a stab at it once or twice? Makes it fun.
I agree, but if we're honest, how many flips did you get in?
7.
7 flips.
I did. This is how DJ and I was. The first day we only ran 1, so just to get the concept going in the room. Did 1, didn't win that one. The next day, I did 2 flips at one time. Yeah, so I had two seats.
That's right.
So $100 2 times in a row. So bricked out for $200 there. Then I was like, okay, let me just do one $50 one. Next one, didn't win that one. On the last one, I won it with a 9 high flush.
9 high flush.
With 9 deuce of diamonds in my hand.
Oh, that can't be right. That something's got to be right because it said there someone folded aces. No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm right. No one folded aces. Aces are under the gun.
Makes Danny marks with pocket aces, min raising it. Jack just cold called the king queen in middle position. Peru electing to 3-bet.
He's coming out
pocket
with 8s.
Just due to the table, I think this is his second or third hand. Obviously, Danny, when it comes back to Danny's probably going to 3-bet rip it based off that sizing, having a small stack less than 20 big blinds.
And like Jeremy, to Clarkston said on Top Gear, I think Daniel's going to drop the hammer.
You have a hammer. You download a hammer.
We need to drop the hammer, but I'm like, here comes the aces alert.
Ships it for the remaining stack for 59K. Jack's gonna be folding here
with King Queen after a bet, a raise, and a 3-bet shove.
Then so it's an open, a 3-bet, and then a 4-bet re-rips under the gun, out of position. I do this auto fold.
He calls.
Snap calls.
Wow.
Cars on the back for 143,000. This will be a big pot, ladies and gentlemen. Could get Danny back into the game.
Through with 2 8s. Daniel with the weapons of mass destruction, 2 aces.
Flop is safe.
3-7 deuce. Only an 8, and an 8 only is going to help. Oh, no. An 8 on the turn. Peru hits a set of 8s and cracks pocket aces and eliminates Daniel Marks from this flight.
WSOP chalked up and just knocked out on a cooler with aces versus 8 to a turn set from Peru. Danny had been playing so well, came into the table short stack, was really, really patient, tried to make some moves that didn't work out. Finally picks up pocket aces and lose to a turn set. What a tough run out there.
Surprisingly, it tells you how much poker I've seen with that. I've seen that exact same moment. My friend that actually was at this feature table, Patrick Lenihan, he actually final tabled one of the deep stacks, the WBT deep stack at Choctaw. And he was one of the short stacks, kind of made some moves, and then he got 2 aces in late position. There was a raise and a re-raise, so he shoves. He gets called by the big stack with 2 8s, and the flop came ace-5, 8-5-3.
Hi, did you see? Is BT out? I don't know if BT played this flight, Sean.
Honestly, I haven't seen him.
I'll tell you, I can step out of the booth and just peek my head out to see if he is or not.
Yeah, but
did you see the hand last night where it was pocket aces, pocket jacks?
No.
Oh, it was crazy. So, I'll tell you about the hand. Cat Smith getting a premium hand on the button.
But speaking of jacks.
Yeah. So a guy had opened under the gun. Oh, actually, BT opened under the gun with queen 6 diamonds. Right? Under the gun +1 has jacks. 3 bets, right? Guy next to him has aces, 4 bets, okay? Goes away all the way down to the big blind. Has pocket aces also, 5-bet rips it. Obviously, BT folds queen six of diamonds. The jacks ends up tank calling with pocket jacks, knowing that there's a 4-bet and a 5-bet rip from out of position. And obviously the 4-better with pocket aces snap calls, and they went heads up aces versus jacks, and jacks obviously, I think the jacks, I don't know if the guy that had jacks was eliminated or if it just decimated the stack, but.
Ow, wow.
4 fold. 5 fold.
11-5.
7 raise to 11-5.
And TJ, this is a steal play, folks. Only a Hall of Famer could make this play. TJ makes an 11-5 to go with high.
Yeah, and did you see him just swivel around and make a drink? Show it, TJ. Show it,
Only a
TJ.
Hall of Famer makes that play with 8 high.
Jack has to respect
it. Just like he's sitting there going, well, he's sitting there going, he said, I'm not a young pup.
Yeah.
I unfortunately got taken to school there.
TJ makes it 11.5K, turns his chair on, takes a sip, and says, let's see what you got, young buck. Folds. Yeah, and Sean, you're right. Queen, I think the run out was last night based on that hand, Queen 6 BT would have won the hand if he decided to ship it.
Oh, wow.
TJ, when he checks the stream at the break, gonna realize he had the best hand, and TJ made a move on him there. Speaking of which, Neek waking up with King, Queen of Diamonds under the gun, gonna open.
Got the prom hand, King, Queen of Diamonds.
1 raise 8,000.
Makes it 8,000.
2 call.
Dean Nelson under the gun +1 with ace, 7 of clubs.
4 and 5 fold.
That's typically a hand that you're not gonna call from under the gun +1 to under the gun open. That's more of a hand that you're gonna see maybe like defend on the button or defending the big blind. But with so much action behind ace 7 clubs to an under the gun open, it's not gonna play well post flop. And we're heads up.
And the flop comes down deuce, 10, king,
monotone
all spades. Neek has top pair with a good picker. He's going to lead out. It's going to be a raise and take it.
Just a few minutes left in this level, where the next level will be going to level 12, where the blinds will be 2,000 for the small blind, 4K for the big blind, and 4K for the big blind ending.
46 players left, folks. We had 126 collectively through the registration period for this flight.
And now we have 3 players over 60 big blinds, Ryan, Peru, and TJ. And 2 players in the 30 big blind range, and 2 players with under 20 big blinds. And for those of you in the chat, let us know how we're doing here in the booth. Any suggestions to us from a commentating perspective or even from a live stream perspective. Obviously, camera angles, I know we've had some issues like that over the past few days. Again, trying to figure out that specific bug. Trying to make this stream one of the best streams out there.
Or if anything, allow us to be able to give you a free T-shirt if you bring us lunch.
I mean, I would take Chipotle. I'm down with Chipotle. Well, and then we'll definitely pose that once we get a new feature table. Because again, one of the things for those of you viewers that are new to our live stream, what we're trying to do is a lot of rooms across the nation that just feature the final table. What we want to do here, especially for a big tournament like this, is getting a variety of different players to feature table that may not get the opportunity to play on a feature table and get live stream, get some family and friends to watch. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to keep this feature table through the remainder of this level, this new level at level 12 before we go on break. And then after the break, probably have a new feature table with new players.
As you can see in the background with the flop coming down 5, 10, 10. Neek's going to take this down. TJ talking about his his final tables at his main event final tables. Yes, folks. TJ has made the main event final table 4 times. Finished second twice, third and fifth. Everybody remembers that he finished second behind Chris Jesus Ferguson in 2001. He finished second behind Bill Smith in 1985. What?
Yeah, and TJ, along with guys like Scotty Wynn, Johnny Chan, Greg Raymer. Who was the guy who used to? He was a Boston Red Sox fan. He made back-to-back final tables. Older gentleman.
Dan Harrington.
Dan Harrington Action Dan making deep runs after. Very, very difficult to make deep runs in multiple years at the main event. Karai Eldemir this year, last year, the 2021 main event champion Karai Eldemir made a deep run. I think he finished inside the top 75.
He finished 75th.
Yeah, something like that. Definitely inside the top 100.
Absolutely, and we got to go back a couple years. Joe Canna. When he made the run, and obviously that was the one that year that Joe Canna was blessed with the deck. He didn't get hit in the head with the deck. He was blessed with the deck. He took small pocket pairs on more than one occasion, flop sets. He was the short stack.
And Terrence, I'm not sure what you mean by stop posting the blinds and anti-guess. I think that's a setup in the system. Every X amount of hands that it pops up, unless you're talking about the screen pop-up where it gives the chip counts.
I mean, that's the only thing I could.
Oh, he may be talking. I'm sorry. I think I know who's talking. I think he's talking about the computer.
The info board. Yeah.
Are you talking about the clock that says how many minutes we have left in a remaining level? Because that's a good suggestion. Again, we want to tailor this live stream to you, the viewers, and I'll definitely let Eric, who is in charge of this, in terms of setting everything up from a technological perspective, that suggestion. Oh, okay. So he did confirm that the viewers don't need to see the clock as often because we are updating him with that. So, Terrence, thank you for the suggestion. I'll definitely pass that along to Eric during the 20-minute break and get that situated. And I think that's something he has to do on the break because he actually has to come in here and set it up in the operating system because it's one of those auto type things, like it's going to pop up every X amount of hands, like just right now, like that. So
pretty much right on cue with unfortunately not being right on cue.
So thank you for that suggestion. Definitely will let him know that.
But yes, folks. Obviously, I mean, I think when as we were going about in regards on those that have made the main event final table, Dan Harrington, his back-to-back runs were in the era of deep fields. The year he went back-to-back.
2003 was one of them.
It was 03, the year that Moneymaker won.
04, 05.
He finished in 8. Yeah, he finished in 800. He finished in the top 4 within a field of 839. And then the very next year when Raymer won it, he finished in the top 5 with a field of 2,579.
Yeah, and up to that point, they were saying that, even though Johnny Chan and Scotty Wynn had multiple bracelets, that was one of the most accomplished main event runs, just to go that deep with those field sizes. So back to the action here. TJ Cloutier again, one of the main features on this featured table, opening King Queen suited.
Ryan's gonna lay down the ace-5.
Farouk 3-betting 6 deuce off.
What? Wow.
Being aggressive.
He just TJ.
Gets it through.
Wow. He literally just TJ.
I wonder if some people just like, hey, I'm going to just 3-bet here and see what happens, because that's not a hand you typically 3-bet to an early open. I mean, gets it through.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, there's a point where sometimes you're not even playing the cards; you're just playing the man.
And I guess one of the new concepts from poker is playing from a theory-based perspective, wanting to stay quote-unquote balanced. I guess when you 3-bet 6 deuce clubs, you're playing balance because no one's going to be able to put you on a hand once they see that.
That's more like, honestly, if it's 6 deuces balanced, then honestly, can we go get a seesaw?
Right.
5-fold.
Got it through, though.
He did get it through. Yes, indeed.
7-fold.
And again, he was the one that called Danny's 4-bet rip. with pocket eights and spiking 8 on the turn.
3, call.
Ryan's going to smooth the call with King 7 and Cat with, I guess I'm okay with saying it,
3 players.
the Choctaw Nuts.
Which one?
Jack Deuce.
Oh, is it really called the Choctaw? I didn't know that.
It's really called the Choctaw Nuts.
Learn something new every day. Again, I've only been in Dallas for less than a year, so not very familiar with the Choctaw tournaments up to recently or this past January.
Yes,
So
as people live by Jack Deuce for some odd reason. So
good to know.
we got Dean with top pair is going to lead out, and I think everyone's going to fold across, and then he's going to, with top pair, he's going to raise and take it. Again, folks, this is the 5th of 6 flights. We have our final flight that will start at 5 o'clock this afternoon. This flight here, we have 44 players left. 13 of them will get a seat into our final day. It'll be a dash for the cash on Championship Sunday. Someone here is going to win more than $25,000 and a trophy that you could easily hang a Presidential Medal of Freedom on.
Could definitely do that as well. And again, I know since the start of this tournament, Craig and I have been commenting from the booth specifically on this tournament. We are not going to stop live streaming, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue to live stream some of our weekly cash games, different stakes, different levels. Again, we want to build a base for Poker House Dallas, not just from a tournament side, but from a cash. So if you're interested in getting on the live streaming here at Poker House at different blind levels, I'm saying blind levels, I'm thinking tournament.
Or a different version of cash games.
Different, stakes. Let us know. And Craig, do we have an email set up yet for that specifically?
We are working on that in the process, but at least, if anything, if you are interested, I know we will, after the tournament, after we have the tournament this weekend, we will be doing a few things in regards on doing a few setups, getting ready for our weekly live stream. But if you would like to play on that, if you would like to take an interest, by all means, my suggestion would be send us a message on our Facebook page, either through Facebook, Twitch, on any of our social media, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Let us know what you want, because I'm going to tell you right now, folks, we're going to have some amazing cash games here on our stream. We've got players lined up already around the building that's waiting for our weekly live stream to happen. And look who has made his way back into the booth. It's Sugar Shane. We got Sugar Shane Howell in the booth. Let me have him let him talk for a minute. Shane, who is my substitute, who filled in for me last night.
What's going on, guys? A little hot outside. Thought I'd come in for a visit before I get ready to start this next flight. I hope everybody comes out and fills this last flight up, get this seat.
Yeah, it was Shane, again, is one of our spectacular floormen, does an amazing job. Shane is the one that he will burn the midnight oil with you if you get a feed and want to play at 2 a.m. in the morning. He's here on the overnight. Most of the time.
I see you and Eddie look like y'all a little hungry. I was going to try to come back here and see if y'all wanted some food. I was going to order some sushi or something, some Uber Eats and Chipotle, whatever we need. So
hey, we got a winner.
I'll find us some Uber Eats and
we got a winner. He's going to buy us lunch. Yay!
Kind of guy I am.
But
I hope y'all rooting for me all night long, because I'm
hey, we're rooting for you to win this thing, because honestly, if you win this thing, you're gonna take all of us out for a drink.
We're gonna have that good sawgrass, so I'll be buying.
Hey, there you go. So, but while we got you here, Shane, so tell us a little bit about your foray. How did you get involved in poker? What brought you and bring you here to Poker House?
Well, I've been in the poker business for about 20 years. Back in the Moneymaker, won the main event and everything. I got into poker. I was doing blackjack craps back in Tunica, Mississippi, and I started doing poker after I saw Moneymaker, and then I got real good friends with Moneymaker and everything afterwards, and just been history since then. So it's been a good 20 years in the making.
So wow, so you've dealt in some of the casinos on the mighty Mississippi.
Yes, I have. I dealt with Dole Brunson, Daniel Negreanu, all of them.
So amongst that, from Mississippi to Big D here in Dallas, Texas, what brought you here?
Well, I was up at WinStar for about 10, 11 years, and then I took a break and was playing for about the last 4 years, and then I been waiting for the card houses to open in Texas, and they finally did, and I finally decided to just settle down and get a job and make a real living.
Well, we appreciate having you here. Obviously, if anything, it's actually a pleasure. I know I've been here from the jump, but I know Shane's one excellent. He's going to be able to take care of you while you're here at Poker House. If you decide to come here on the late night flight when Poker House goes after dark. But in a little point of some action that Nick in the +1 made it 10 to go with jacks. Cat's going to call him down with ace-9, and the flop comes 8-5-5. Cat has the nut flush draw. Jack has two. Nick has 2 pair. Jacks and 5s. He's going to lead out.
8-bet, 9,000.
He's going to make it 9,000 to go. And Cat here sitting with the nut flush draw and also an overcard. Makes the call. Shane, you'd say this was honestly a strong, basically is going to going as planned. He's going to lead out with the overpair. She's going to call with her nut flush draw.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get a few players that just like to rip it with the nut flush draw and just see if they can try to get that overpair to fold. So, you know, they can't put them on a 5, you know, or the flush draw, and it's just a good gamble. He elects to just call and see if he can just kill one off. Of course, no luck on the turn.
Wait a minute, he leads out. He bets 35,000. That's about more than half of Cat's remaining stack.
Cat ain't gonna lay this down.
I think she's gonna look like she's putting out calling chips.
Probably just might as well just put the rest of it in.
I agree, honestly. He's bet half your stack, it's gonna leave you less than a third of a pot size bet. She's gonna move all in. Nick insta calls. We're going to 180,000 chip pot. It's 2 jacks for Nick. It's the nut flush draw. There are the outs at the top. She's got 8 outs to get there. Here's the river. It's a 6. Neek is going to hold on with jacks and 5s, and Cat Smith has been eliminated from our feature table. Miss Smith, don't worry about it. We have 1 remaining flight left tonight. It's going to start at 5 o'clock. We have, ladies, and those that are interested in what we know, we have hit the guarantee. Someone here is going to win over $25,000 and a trophy that I think even Moneymaker would like to get his hands on.
It was a very nice trophy.
And very heavy. Here's our chip count. Peru Robinson is taking the chip lead here. Neek with that pot has come in second, and everyone else has stayed pretty steady. Cody here with under 10 bigs.
I got seats for Wesley, JJ, and Tay, Thomas, John, Quan, and Annette.
See a lot of familiar faces in the room today. Good old buddy TJ here at this feature table.
I think, yeah, we were just talking about more or less while the time he was here, all of TJ's accomplishments, and the fact that honestly that he was the first player at the WSOP to earn $1 million without winning the main event.
He's been around a long time. I've known him pretty much ever since I've been in the business. So.
Here we are to a new hand. We got Ryan in the hijack with King 3. He's going to fold. It's going to get folded around. And we got a new player. Oh, it's Miss Daphne.
Daphne, I know Miss Daphne.
Miss Daphne is an absolute joy. But do not let that sweet face fool you.
Exactly.
She is an assassin with chips.
Yep. Her and her husband Fred, very nice people.
Oh, they're absolutely wonderful people. But that's like when Miss Daphne, she gets on the table, she is locked in.
She puts the hammer down.
She does not play. It's like guard your chips like they're your children. She's coming.
She's knocked me out of a few tournaments.
Again, we'll bring $10 bonfire. Western, Jay, Jacob, Tay, Thomas, John, Quan, Ahmet. Table number 25, $10 bonfire.
As we go to our chat, we says Ben that says, "Hey dudes, have a good stream today." Ben, thank you so much. Thank you for turning in. Actually, to all of our viewers that have had a chance to tune in, thank you so much for being a part of this watching our stream. This is only just the beginning. We got one last flight that's going to happen at 5 o'clock.
5, all in.
Oh, here we go. Cody is going to take a stand. He's got Big Slick. He's going to take a stand. Miss Daphne, before she even got the rest of her chips out and had ace 10, I think it's going to fold around. And how ironic that not one but two players are holding TJ Cloutier's hand, Jack 9, while he's at the table.
Cody's going to take this one down pretty easy, so.
One fold.
Cody's a very solid local player also that used to play at WinStar a lot. Very good grinder. Usually don't play a lot of tournaments, but he's been taking a few shots here lately.
So in addition to this, obviously, while we're seeing if Ryan is going to make this call with Jack 9 of Diamonds, like, you've been around poker for 20 years. You've seen oh, wait a minute. Actually, we'll hold up on that question because Ryan has made the call. So we've got Ace King for Cody, Jack 9 of Diamonds for Ryan, and Cody's tournament license play. Oh, wow. 7, 10, 7.
Just for TJ, I think.
It's a straight with a straight. Oh, and he hits the diamond flush.
No.
And Cody has been eliminated, holding the Jack 9 of Diamonds. Nothing like having TJ at a table while winning with his hand.
Once again, players are looking for John from that CCC, Jay, and Dan Young. 2-5 hold.
I know. I should have. Well, no. Oh, then they're leaving. Then they're going.
Oh, really? Did you see it?
Yes. Oh, I didn't see it, my friend.
Change coming.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, obviously we're back here on this level 12. Lines at 2,000, 4,000, 4,000, and I'm just waiting to hear in regards on update with a few things in regards with our stream today. But we're gonna go ahead and continue with action through here on the button with Ace 6.
Yeah, I gave you back your 5 and asked you for 4 because the odds are 2 and 4. So it's 4-4. Raise 8,500. Yeah. That's it. He put 2 5s in.
Oh, okay.
I gave him back the 5 and asked him for 4 yellows. So he gave me 4 yellows. There was no change.
Gotcha. What's the bet?
8,500.
I'm sure you know this for 2-5. Final call. John, Ahmet, CCC, Jay, and Dan Young.
And a call. Heads up. Two check. Nine bet. 11,500. 2 fold.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again in regards on this, but what I've been brought to my attention in regards on we have reached a bit of technical difficulty in regards on the connection with a few things with the stream, and it disappoints me, unfortunately, to say that once this level is over, is that we will have to take a slight interruption with the stream for the rest of the flight. We will return again for the back half of our night flight for the last flight of our final flight for the anniversary tournament. But once this level goes to break, we will have to interrupt our coverage of the anniversary Summer Jam tournament for the rest of this flight. So I do apologize. We did not expect this in regards on that. So, but as of right now, so we have 39 players left. Again, 13 of these players will get a seat into day 2, into our championship Sunday, the dash for the cash. Someone's going to win the lion's share of this over $100,000 prize pool and a trophy that I think even the Redgrave sisters would be appreciative of. Action's going to be on Peru. He's in the hijack. He's got ace 4, and he is really trying to hijack this pot. He's going to come in for a raise.
9 raised to 9,500.
He's going to make it 9,500 to go. It's going to get folded across to the small blind that has the hammer, 7 deuce, and Daphne that's sitting with the Eddie hand, jack 6. Oh, somewhere Eddie is happy. He's got his hand on a blade. It's jack 6 versus ace 4, and he flops it, and Miss Daphne flops a jack. She's going to go ahead and take the lead with this one.
Take the lead, probably take it down.
12,500.
And it's a raise and take it. We weren't playing when it came to Miss Daphne. She
played some cards.
Absolutely. Hey, that stack she has over 250,000 chips. Oh, she earned those chips. Those were not given to her. She earned them. I know when she's able to come play, she is an amazing tournament player. She's an amazing cash game player. She's an amazing person. Obviously, that is the clientele that we enjoy that come into Poker House Dallas. I know Shane would agree with me that, because our place, it's more than just a place that people play cards. It's honestly, it's like a small family. It's like our own fraternity. I mean, and that's the joy about it. Obviously, being able to come to work at a place like this.
We definitely have a lot of repeat business because they really like it here.
8 full, 9 full.
We've got Neek in the hijack with a double down hand, 8 deuce. He's going to fold.
1 fold.
Dean with the jack 3 is going to fold. Ryan, he's got a suited 1 gapper.
3 raised to 11,000.
He's going to make it 11,000 to go with 6-4 diamonds. Miss Daphne with jack 4. He's well, and TJ, he's got ace queen.
Raised to 41,000.
Uh-oh.
His big raise.
And I think Ryan has had to experience this more than one time. And I don't know if trying to mess with a man that has 6 WSOP bracelets and 4 main event final tables, I don't think half the Dallas community combined has 4 main event final tables.
That's a pretty good flop for TJ.
Oh, wow. And TJ has flopped 2 pair. Ryan has 2 cards that would be good for blackjack right now, not poker. And TJ leads out for 60,000.
Oh, you know what Ryan's thinking about? Them cards should have already been in the muck.
I think it's the fact of the matter is this is kind of the last. I know you'd like to have position on someone like TJ Cloutier, but you kind of also sometimes need to have cards when you have position on TJ Cloutier.
Exactly.
Because bluffing, if TJ is making a stab at a pot, he's not doing this with nothing. Obviously, even though there have been times he's had King 10, Jack 9, 8-4, but when he leads out like that with this flop, he's got the goods. Yep. And Ryan makes this sensible fold. TJ Clooney picks up another pot.
For 2 pair.
And
But no
you can
bingo
see-
flop flush draws on that one for him.
No, sir. We got 4 minutes left in this level, folks. We got 39 players. Again, we do apologize that we are going to have to interrupt the stream, and we'll be unavailable to stream the rest of this flight where we get down to 13 players, where those players will be able to make it to day 2. But obviously, we're pulling for our man Shane to get able to get to as he plays this.
We want to break all numbers on these viewers there whenever I'm up here on this.
Honestly, I think that maybe if one of those things, if as Shane continues to advance on to the tournament, maybe through the money that you win, we may be able to offer. We'll offer T-shirts. We'll offer hats. We'll offer dinners. And I don't. Who knows what else we'll offer if Shane wins this tournament? Shane may end up sponsoring the stream for all we know.
Right.
But we're going to go back to action again. We got Brew under the gun. He's got the 2 walking sticks. He's got pocket 7s.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a bit. We'll open about 10,000 probably here, Peru.
Nine, raise.
About 12.
14,000.
He makes it 14,000 to go. I think it gets folded around. Ryan's got A7. That's a fold. Justin with the 6 set Jack Deuce. Miss Daphne with 6-3 on the button.
6 fold.
And TJ with King 9. He's going to fold over to the big blind who's got Jack Deuce. And it's going to be a. Oh, no, he calls. Here's the flop. It comes 7, 3, 6. Peru has hit the slot machine. He's flopped the set of top. He's flopped the top set. Here's the turn. It's a 4. It also gives puts a straight draw on the board.
9, bet, 13,000.
Peru's going to lead out for 13,000. And it looks like Jack's going to make the call here.
Be begging for a 5 here.
But the 5 would obviously put it straight on the board. Ace on the river, no good. And he's going to check it. And wow, he checks the set.
No value bet.
I at least probably might have would have put a value bet on there. I know there are 4 cards to a straight. I mean, a couple different areas, but you got to maximize when you make mid hands like that.
Exactly. Pretty hard to put somebody on a 5 calling a raise, so got to put a little value out there. Wouldn't have got calls, but you know, still got to put it out there.
I agree. So here is our chip count. Miss Daphne, who just sat at our table, she's got 255,000. Peru, he's got 239. The great TJ Cloutier himself, he's over 200. And I think, folks, with this is going to be our last hand of this level and also of the stream for right now. We do have to take a slight interruption because of some technical error issues. So this will be the last hand we'll be able to stream. We will be back for our night flight stream where our man Shane is gonna be able to be playing in this tournament. But hey, what a hand to be able to do this on. Justin sits down at the table and he wakes up with 2 aces.
8 fold.
And it's going to get folded around.
Around the last hand, nobody.
And Peru's got King, Queen. He's going to call. Here's the flop. Oh, wow. Justin has flopped the top set. Peru has a King High flush draw.
Could get ugly.
4, bet, 8,000.
Justin going to lead out with his top set.
9, call.
And Bruce smooth calls. Here's the turn. Oh, it's a 9. Justin has made a full house. Ace is full of 9s.
Checks it on the trap, hoping to get the. Oh, I thought he
4, bet, 17,000.
He bet 17,000. Now Bruce still sitting there with the King High flush draw. I think he's going to be sticky with this.
praying that that spade don't come. It's going to cost him if it does.
He makes the call. We're going to a river, folks. Here's the river. It's a 3 of clubs. No. And he checks. Now Justice Point figuring here is like, what can I bet for him to make a call? But I don't think there's any bet that he's going to make that Crew's going to be able to call this down on. He did miss his. He does have 2 overcards to the aside from the pair on the board. But can you really call down this board with King High? No, you can't. And he makes the smart lay down. Justin, first hand at the final table, makes a full house. Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, that's going to be it. I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry that we aren't going to be able to continue with the rest of this flight. But again, we will be back. Oh, we absolutely will be back for the back half of the stream for the night flight. Shane's going to play in it. So stay tuned. Be able to watch out. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. We're going to be back. So for Eddie, for Eric, for Shane, for dealers, for everybody here at Poker Lounge, thank you very much. And we'll see you later on the night.